the last thing for the night is getting to the evening or the afternoon. Alderon arrives on the train in Wand.
Mm-hmm.
And
I basically pick him up.
yeah.
The equivalent, whatever, bring him back. We have dinner with the expectation that she's coming, because I said sunset, so that would be fairly late in the evening.
And he asks for a summary of the situation, which you give.
And then I would say a little bit after dinner would be when the Archmage arrives, so that the three of them can discuss more.
The three of them would be
Elerina, Alderon, and
Okay.
Sarlo.
And-
Wait, who's that?
Sarlo's the Archmage.
Oh, okay. Oh, first name
Archmage
basis.
Sarlo.
With the intention of explaining what she saw most carefully and allowing the two of them to brainstorm some possible approaches as based on what she did the first time.
He's older than everybody except Elerina. It's just
Yeah.
that he is perpetually stuck looking young.
Oh, darn.
Tragic,
Ben
yeah.
Barnes young?
Poor man.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Rough.
Oh, so sad for him.
That's
Yeah.
Barnes.
No, so the point being that I shared with them so the two of them could give advice both for how Elerina should approach, in a sense, the attempt to...
They asked for details on the one you faced and then asked for, and what did you observe on the young lady?
She has, I don't even know how many such anchor points, you might say, and all of them act as one. When I began to probe to one, all of them in unison turned on me.
Alderon says, I remember how well how well we did with one virtual creation. So you're talking about a collection of them.
It seems almost as though it is one yet many. So
They are at least working in concert.
yes, it may be that without taking all, we cannot get any, but I do not know.
Sarlo is like,
So we can both attempt to address all of them, or we could first attempt to extract one and see what happens, and see if we can go one by one, or if we must address the colony.
that generates
You're not there.
that generates a visceral reaction in Sarlo.
Yes,
Sarlo's just like,
Wait, this is before I'm there?
yes, we are talking before you get there.
You
So
just
that-
walk in. We could.
I feel like that's worse. I feel like you talking before I get there.
It's because I'm trying to ask for.
No.
Then you talking over me?
No, we're trying to
They
ask.
just all get very quiet when you walk in. They were just having a conversation, then it just dies.
Anyway,
they until they know what they're looking at, they don't know what they're looking at.
so
Sarlo is just like staff, lots of patterns, and
then we will begin as I did last night.
when is the young lady going to be here?
Sunset. Why?
Sarlo just kind of cracks his neck and says, it's just, when you're dealing with shadows, or I realize it's not shadows, but I just feel like I'm falling into one of those stories that I don't read.
I know nothing about
There is a copy in his office. He doesn't know how it keeps getting back
You're
there.
not thinking about Pulp Fiction, Dream Dreadfuls, and Bodice River.
Archmage.
None of those. None of those.
Archmage. If you wish it to be sooner, I can call for her.
I think I would prefer to at least start this encounter in the light of day.
As you wish. You get to call on.
What time is it?
We'll say
At this point,
it's
about
7.
Ring, ring, banana.
Yeah.
We've basically eaten dinner, and
Yeah.
but I'm expecting it not to be dark till at least 9 or
Yeah.
10 because
Okay.
of being
yeah,
a summer in Europe.
and more than that because of the
Oh yeah, the weird weather.
yeah.
It's not like noon, and I expected to have 9 more hours to like
No,
stew.
no.
It's like
It's-
2 hours.
Yeah, okay, that's
2 hours.
fine. Yes.
Teraline, would you mind coming a little bit earlier? We're ready and would like to go ahead. If you're able to come.
Okay, yeah, I'll be right there.
Thank you. She also calls Timaeus. Be able to have them
Okay.
come.
Okay.
You have your next of kin sorted out.
You
The
have a
extractor
last
can be a
will
little
tested.
violent.
Ah!
It's okay.
Okay. Hi. Oh, you're brought in, and Ben Barnes is there. Says hi.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you.
I believe you already know him, but this is Elder Pellet Knight Alderon.
Good evening, sir.
And your name is
Theraline.
Carolyn.
Theraline Twirl, sir.
Pleased to meet you. Are you frightened?
Does it make a difference?
It matters to me.
Extremely.
We are here to help to the best of our ability.
I do believe you, but you have to know I have heard that sort of thing before.
As have I. Right now, we just want to look. We don't want to poke or prod too much. We just want to look and see what it is that you've been carrying. And then, if we think it wise, and if you agree, we'll try something else. However, it is important to me for you to know that you can say no. We are not it, and we do not live by its rules. It has imposed itself on you. We won't. I won't. So you really are making, your decisions are real. And if that just means that I have to turn around and go back to Tamarin having done nothing, that's fine. It's not a problem.
You may look.
And they invite you to basically sit down. Sarlo has been looking, but he is not a hospitaller. And so Sarlo says, I would like just to do a first pass to see if I can identify if what we're looking at is in my wheelhouse. I don't know if that makes sense, but if this is a mage issue or if this is something that's more on the scale of a hospitaller.
All right.
And so he looses a pattern, and for an instant, Elerina knows what's going on. But what there is to see for her is nothing, because he's illuminating her song. And she's, yeah, there it is. Good job.
Well done.
Yeah, exactly.
Now can see it.
But he illuminates her song, and at the same time he does it, the volume that he interacts with, there's a number of items in the room, any biomes, anything that is actually in any interpretation of virtual creation is very clearly illuminated.
Yeah.
Basically the big glowing
Yeah, you know where
arrows.
she keeps her stuff in the room if there is any.
Yeah, and so it's just like wham. Okay, we see all of these things, and that is when I roll for him. This ain't easy. This ain't easy for an elder mage, even if he's carrying the staff of Kel. Her song is in passing illuminated. However, in doing that, and because he rolled well, there's the scars are for an instant. Each scar on her song shimmers. It's just, it's just that it's like a light. It would be more like a UV light passing over something that is just otherwise unreactive. But there are just a few places, scars, that illuminate. But as fast as they illuminate, while everything else stays illumined, as fast as they illuminate, they're gone.
Yeah.
He holds there. That's Elder Hospitaller. That's reactive.
Yes.
That's dynamically reactive.
Yes.
Okay.
She is actually doing this. She's looking between you like,
It means they can do things.
It's, and more than that, it's that it's plural. They're not people. They're really good patterns. Are aware of me and correct for what I'm doing really well, very, very, very quickly. I haven't seen that kind of reaction before. So what caused those scars put a lot of effort into them. Alderon, do you want to have a look? Alderon sits in front of you. And he says, I can identify 5 scars.
And
They appear to just be scars. I mean, it's like they've got little labels on them that say, I'm just a scar. Okay, fine. This won't hurt. And he burns virtue. You've seen Pallet Knights illuminate.
right.
And you know Pallet Knights that are able to just maintain a volume, but he is he's using a small amount of virtue, but he's using it in a very concentrated fashion, and he just moves from side to side, and then up and down, and pauses and moves, and just keeps going. And at certain points, he'll stop, and he almost tags elements of the scars, going as he goes back around. Says, "Oh, okay. Let's just concentrate on you." And there's 3 of you. Okay, so that singular scar is actually 3 interwoven. And it moved. Okay, let's find you again. And he starts burning, keeps working. It's like, you.
yeah. What do I feel?
The moment he goes, oh, and you've got this sense of unease. Now, of course, right now you're not feeling easy, whatever you feel at that moment. But it's at that moment.
Exceptional
Yeah, it's the knob just went to 11.
So when it moved, when he like saw
When it moved, yeah. And that moment that he says, oh, it moved, for that moment, the room goes black. The difference from before is that you're once again standing in that place, But Alderon is beside you. And you see him sheathed, his arms sheathed in blue light. And on his shoulders, you see a mantle, burning with a gold light, a golden light. Then it passes. The sense of unease doesn't go away, but that moment of being in another place is gone, and he's still there. And he says, "Oh, it moved." And he looks at you.
When she came back, she probably just stumbled forward just a smidge.
Which Elerina has been
"Ah."
very carefully trying to observe, but she's
Doing her best to not make it a big deal, but she could not help.
Yeah. Which she reaches forward.
Doesn't say anything.
What did you observe?
That particular group, they are actively doing something, but it has more to do with suppression than it does with oppression. I can only guess about the description you had of the young lady that was suffering from the night terrors, but that was a case. That would be my guess, is that there was a case of the creation actively assaulting her. These do not seem to be doing that.
Rather, they actively are attempting to avoid detection.
They're actively working on her song.
Yes.
My only concern is, no, not my only concern, but this is a concern. We are dealing with something that has been done very carefully by a being that has very high skill. It took a fair amount of time to do this. It is as though she has daggers stabbed into her. Simply pulling the dagger out is not always the best medical care.
I would agree. When I originally saw these, my response was to not touch them.
Yeah.
Because I understood that I could do more damage by trying to restore her song than by leaving the damage there. My concern is what and why they wish to hide and burrow into her song.
Obviously we don't know. My guess is that they are meant not to be detected.
But if not to be detected, then they must be there for a reason.
They are suppressing something. When we poke, she reacts.
What is it that you experience in your reaction? I'm assuming it is more than just him scanning a spot on your back or arm.
It's incredibly uncomfortable and unsettling. As much unease as I think I can possibly feel in one moment.
How much have you told Alderon about Theraline?
Pretty much, as much as I know.
And what do you know of her past?
I know that she does not remember her past. That, as far as she's told me, right? That you don't remember.
I don't remember
beyond
all of it. Yeah.
As in, you don't remember parents or family.
I know that they existed. I have recollections of my early childhood, but nothing concrete.
So she would have told him that her early years seem to be mostly blocked out, since her coming to Juan seems to be the only thing relevant. What stands between those two things seems to be whatever gave her these.
Okay.
So
Then it would seem to be that it has tortured her.
yes.
To the point that it thought it had fashioned a useful tool out of her, and then now suppresses those memories so that she does not remember it as a torturer. obviously, the truth is there to be found.
The question is if, Theraline, when you were here and you periodically interacted, whomever you thought it was, yes, did you talk with them or
Yes.
how did they talk with you? Was it by Halo?
Oh, yeah, it was by, yes.
Okay.
Up until the night where he was in my dorm. That was.
Did you have a sense of connection with him? In the sense that you trusted him?
Yes.
You wanted to obey him?
Oh. Yes. It was all I wanted.
Okay. So you, in some way, he was your community.
Yeah.
The one you really knew
Yes.
and that knew you.
Yes.
And before your connection with him, you don't remember any strong connections.
No.
It's following, it's playing by the book. It has abused and manipulated and tormented.
To the point of creating a new.
And then sealed away the memories. Now, we can remove these. I'm just...
Because it seemed that it sealed away both the good and the bad.
And the bad.
And therefore they aren't points left for future.
They're keeping her balanced from the trauma that it has inflicted on her. We can't... They are bad. It's just that what they're doing...
Theraline, do you understand what we're describing?
I think so. I don't. Why would he do that? We were working together. I don't know if he was right, but we were.
If a man wishes to have the submission of a woman, and he is a villain, he may abuse her and at the same time lie to her, telling her that it is all her fault. He may be the cause of her suffering and then also be the one source of comfort in her life. To do that, he will isolate her from everyone she knows, all her friends, all her family, so that she must rely solely upon him. He becomes the sole source of truth in her life. He becomes the voice that she listens to, and he defines her universe until he's convinced he has the power over her that he desires. This is wicked. This is demonic. But I have known it to happen. And I believe that this is what it did to you. It wanted a tool that would have no mark of itself on her, no mark of shadow, that could be sent into the heart of a city that was looking for shadow, with the confidence that it had tortured her to the point that she would not even want to imagine rebelling.
All of it. Every.
At which point it would have the information it wanted.
He never.
If we remove these, she'll remember, I bet you.
I want to know. I want to know.
What do you want to know?
I want to know what he did.
Do you want to experience that again, though?
You'll remember, and the memories won't be good.
For so long, he said he cared about me. He said that he needed me. And that was all. It was all a lie. He never.
Love doesn't lie. Love doesn't abuse.
If everything he did, if it wasn't for the reasons he said, I want to know why. He said what we were doing was good. We were fixing things. We were helping people. We were protecting people. If he didn't care about me, I want to know why he said he did. Because if everything he said was a lie, everything in my life at that time, for as long as I can remember, was a lie, and I am nothing. I need to know.
One of the things, then we should remove these things, and we will. I just want you to understand, one of the first things that he would have done was lie to you and convince you that you were nothing without him. And that is a lie. That is the first and greatest lie. Because you are created in the image of God, and you are precious, valuable, and a treasure. And if you will trust Jesus Christ, he will save you from all of this and from the darkest elements of yourself. You are not nothing. And if he has lied, which he has, all the more you are not nothing. You have very real value. You're a child created by God. So if you choose, we will fight and remove these things. But you will remember, and you will know it for what it is. And it is a terrible thing.
Right now, I'm hearing the words that everyone says, and yet in my heart, I still want to trust him, and I still feel, and if for that to go away, I have to know everything he did. But I'd rather know than feel this thing that is wrong.
Very well.
But maybe not right this second.
I think that is wise, because Alderon has spoken truly. You have been under the power of his lies, and if you return and see them, it is very possible that they will have the same effect on you again. You do need to think about that, because, my dear, you do not have the strength in yourself to stand up to him. None of us do. He speaks truly that your value is from our Lord. But if you do not understand that, I fear for how you can stand against his attempts.
In any case, you won't stand alone.
This is true.
And Salo says, if we're going to do this, I would prefer to do this at midday.
The sun is shining.
When the sun is shining.
In the backyard, in the full sun.